Hello, good people and trolls. I know a lot of people will be watching this video because misery, people love misery. And Cowboy fans, we are all hurting big time. Jerry Jones, on his 82nd birthday, having the worst home loss of any loss in his 35 years of owning the Cowboys. The worst. Not the second worst or the third worst. The absolute positive worst. And that includes the 1-15 season. That even in the 1-15 season, they never had a home loss as bad as what we saw. We saw history at home today. Jerry Jones made an announcement about Mike McCarthy. But I want you to understand something. I don't know what the hell happened with that Green Bay Packer game, but they broke something with the Cowboys. We literally had 16 wins at home, and we're doing great things at home. And then Green Bay came in, and we're broken. This is the house of losers that Charles Haley talked about. So Jerry Jones, after the game, after being embarrassed on his 82nd birthday, after literally getting a shit cake with candles for his birthday, made a major announcement about Mike McCarthy and said that Mike McCarthy wasn't going anywhere. And he kind of spread the blame everywhere, including himself. And see, here's where I'm going to go with this. The system, they always say, trust the process. That alone is the problem, the process that they go about. It doesn't matter what I say. It does not matter what I say because you're going to have your own perceived notions of the problems with the Cowboys. Okay? And I get that. And I don't even know why you're watching and listening to me with my opinion. My opinion says what you are asking your quarterback to do and your one real weapon that has experience is too much. The Cowboys, what do we rush with our starters? 16 yards? 16 yards. 16 effing yards. When you have an owner who's literally in denial that just thinks we can just grab bottom tier draft picks, guys from the USFL that are undrafted, and we are so smart that we can find these people, put them together, and they're going to be better than what the Lions did, which was go out and sign free agents to take care of their players that were good and bringing them back. And mind you, let me say this, sending prayers to Agent Hutchinson. And, Victor, who's back on my other channel, who's like, don't you dare give away a game ball. Bro, these are my channels. These are my channels. If I want to give away a game ball, I'm going to give away a damn game ball. And Adrian Hutchinson, a guy who has played his ass off, who was leading the NFL in sacks, who was giving it his all. And what you have to understand is every player can always be one play away from their season being over and maybe their career. Because what you saw there goes in the annals of some of the most horrific injuries I've seen. Starting with Joe Theismann being sacked by Lawrence Taylor and seeing his leg literally destroyed. Seeing Alan Hearns literally have his leg snapped along with Dak Prescott. You could see mid-tackle the pain hit him. You can see the clip. Go to Twitter, of course. You can see anything on Twitter. Just about. The way his leg, he's just swinging, and it just hit the other player's leg, and seeing that, oh man. If you're squeamish, don't look. Don't look. But I remember when I tore my ACL, I remember the camera angle, because the camera was perfectly on my back, and seeing my leg bend sideways was something I only wanted to see. I saw it once, and that was enough. And it's been burned in my memory. I hope that Adrian Hutchinson, who had emergency surgery on that leg, that it's not a career ender. And I hope it doesn't turn into anything like the spiral fracture that Alex Smith, I forgot about Alex Smith, that's another one. Alex Smith that had the spiral fracture that got the infection, which made it worse. I have to give him a game ball. Bro, you gave it all and left it all out on the field, and you are a real warrior. I also have to give a ball to Jerry Jones, who also set the Cowboys up to lose that game to give it to the Detroit Lions. Jerry, this is on you, bro. This is on you. Because, see, here's your philosophy of taking your whole god-darn time and getting Dak Prescott signed and CeeDee Lamb signed and saying, we don't believe in free agents. We believe in our guys. And after you paid CeeDee Lamb, who, mind you, averaged about 10 touches a game last year, you said, well, we got to get CeeDee Lamb the ball like 12 to 15 times a game, because you want to get your money's worth out of him. Because the problem with that is predictability. When the Cowboys said, Tony Pollard, we don't want to pay you, we'll let you go, we'll just bring back Zeke, who wasn't any good the last couple of years that were here, and we'll be okay at the running game. And looked at players that still can play. Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, right now, today, has 703 yards rushing and 8 rushing TDs. Let that sink in for you guys. 703 yards, 8 TDs. And he's $9 million. And as we sit here, as the offensive line is struggling to open up holes for a running game for not exactly premier running backs, we don't have running backs that can run over people like Derrick Henry can. We have an aging back in Zeke Elliott, who looks like he has lead in his shoes, mind you, that we're saving, and a coach who doesn't really believe in the run. And when we did run, we averaged about 2 yards a carry. Okay. Offensive line can't open holes. Offensive line can't pass block. Running game, can't run the football, and you have one main target in CeeDee Lamb, who missed all of training camp because said owner didn't pay him, and at times seems like Dak and him are not communicating or on the same page whatsoever. You got one weapon, and everybody knows you got one weapon. And they double cover that guy. Triple cover that guy. That's not going to work. And then your defense is literally decimated by injuries. And because, as I've said many times before, as we keep repeating the same problems we have with the Dallas Cowboys, where we're always top heavy with talent and don't believe in bringing in a little bit extra. Once you get through the first layer of guys, what you're stepping down to is not always very good. When you lose a Micah Parsons, when you lose a D-Law, when you lose a Marshawn Nealon, when you lose a Ceylon Carson, when you lose a Deron Bland, when you lose an Eric Kendricks, 6 guys, you really can't put it on Mike Zimmer. So, for those out there that say, fire Mike McCarthy, the die is already cast for this year. You fire Mike McCarthy, you still have to have somebody who's doing the basic same system. You can't just say we're going to bring in Bill Belichick tomorrow and change everything right now. There's not enough practice time to do that. You do that at the end of the year. If you fire Mike McCarthy, you're basically elevating somebody who's already on the staff that at least can go through and say, I'm calling the plays instead. So is that Brian Schottenheimer? You feel confident of him being the head coach and calling the plays? Is it Mike Zimmer, whose defense just gave up 9 straight possessions? Who is it? Jerry really doesn't have anybody there. And so, as we sit here, we are 3-3. We have a bye week. And I've seen this team 3-5 turn it around and win the division, believe it or not. But the Cowboys did something drastic. They went out, they brought in another receiver in Amari Cooper. Now here's where it gets crazy. Cowboys always talk about what they can't do. Well, we can't do this and we can't do that. The price for Devontae Adams is going downhill. Probably the Raiders, which lost again, will probably have to eat some of that contract. And probably will settle for about a 4th round draft pick. Okay, the game must be back on. The Giants just got a turnover. But the Joneses will say, nah, we believe in our own guys. And will continue to do things the same way they've been doing since they were stupid enough to fire Jimmy Johnson and think that they know what the hell they're doing. If 30 years of doing the same thing, of running into a brick wall over and over and over again, hasn't convinced you, then you're never going to learn. I appreciate you guys listening and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. It's been a rough night. And it's going to be a rough 2 weeks. Remember, good people, tell the people you love how much you love them, because you might not get the chance again, and I love you guys. Peace out.